All right, don't start talking when I start talking. We're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna do factoring by grouping. So remember, our first step to factoring is always GCF. And then today we're gonna have 4 terms. You guys should have been ready to go. Guys, come on. No. Perfect pocket.
Is the one that we're gonna do like with the 4 boxes? You like that one?
It's the one we did yesterday. I handed out
No,
yesterday.
like I said, like, are we gonna like work with them like that?
No, not right now. We can do these by boxes. It'll just be a reverse box.
Show me my number.
Throw the other ones away.
Really?
I don't care. I just want y'all to be ready when I'm ready. I'm searching through 50 packets.
That should really came out good. I have like 40 matches.
I had it.
Sorry, Zoomers. Just give us a minute.
It's just, I don't have like photos. So what I do is just put it over there. Is it you? No, I think I'm gonna say that.
I think you're going to use this one for right now because we got to move on. Just use this one. All right. Here we go. Anytime you have 4 terms, you're going to group. We can also do the reverse box. I'll do a couple by grouping and then I'll show you the box. So grouping just means take the first 2 and put them in parentheses and take the last 2 and put them in parentheses. And then we're going to do exactly what we did yesterday with GCF, okay? So that's the only new part is putting 2 and 2 together. All right, so on this first one, 15 is 3 and 5 and 3 piece. Remember, we always do a plus. We have a negative 21. So anytime there's a negative, we write a -1. Kevin, please just use the other notes, honey. It's not a big deal. 21 is 3 times 7. And then we have 2 p's, the same exact thing that we did yesterday. Okay. Make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Between those 2, what do we have in common?
The 3.
What else? The 3 and 2 p's. So we're going to write that out. A 3 and 2 p's. And then we're going to write our leftovers. We left a 5 and a p, so 5p. And we left -1 times 7, which is -7. You do the same thing to the other set, okay? So break down -35p. We have a -1, a 7, and a 5. And then we have 1p. We have a plus, and 49 is 7 times 7. What do they have in common? Just a 7. So we took out a positive 7. So make sure you put a plus there. There should always be a sign in the middle there. Okay. We have a -1 times 5, which is a -5p. And we have a 7. Now look at your parentheses. What do you notice? They're almost the same, right?
Oh, yeah, because
Right.
it flipped.
Yeah, we want them the same, okay? We want them to look exactly the same. That's how you know you did it right. So we're going to leave this one alone, but we're going to change this one. How do we change it? Change the sign. Change the sign. Now these two look alike. I'm going to write them down. 5p minus 7. And then look what we left over. 3p squared and a negative 7. 3p squared and a negative 7. This is your first factoring that you've really done. That is what your answer is going to look like. So we're going to do it again. I'm going to try to do all the positives because those are a little bit easier, and then we'll do those negatives again where we have to change signs. Is everybody good? All right, look at the next one. All right, so we have all positives. We're going to group the first two and the last two. Same thing we did yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and break down these numbers without you, don't stress out about them. I'm going to break them down. You know how to break them down from yesterday. Okay, that's when we had to put them in our calculator. If you don't know your factors of 32, y equals 32 divided x. And we're breaking those down. All right, 32 is 8 times 4. 4 is 2 and 2. 8 is 3 2s. And then we have 3 p's. So that's your first one. We have a plus. We said 8 was 3 2s and 2 p's. What do they have in common? 2 p's. What else? And 3 2s. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And you said 2 p's. What did I leave in the beginning? 2 times 2 is 4 and a p. And then when you circle everything, we can always put a factor of 1. So anytime you circle everything, you're always still going to have a factor of 1. So just put a 1 down. Look at your other one. 28 is 7 times 4. 4 is 2 and 2. And a p. And 7 is 1 times 7. What do they have in common? And that was a positive 7, so we're going to put a plus 7. What did we leave? 2 times 2 is 4. And a p. And what did we leave in the end? The plus 1. Perfect. See how your parentheses are the same? That's exactly what we want. We know we did it right. So we just rewrite those parentheses. That's your first factor. And then you just read what you had outside of parentheses and write it down. 8p squared and a plus 7. So that's the new part. You know the GCF part. That's the new part. All right, I'm going to skip to number 4 because it's all positives. It does have some extra letters in it, but it's exactly the same. So don't stress out because it has more letters. All right. Group the first two. Group the last two. (21xy) and 15x. 21 is 7 times 3, and we have an x and a y. 15 is 5 times 3, and we just have an x. What do they have in common? 1, 3, and an x. Perfect. So I pulled out a 3 and an x. In the very first one, I left 7y and a plus 5. All right. And the last one, 28, is 7 times 4. 4 is 2 times 2 and a y. And then I have 20, which is 5 times 4. 4 is 2 and 2. And I don't have any letters with that one. 2 2s. 2 times 2 is
4.
Positive 4. So I'm going to put a plus 4. And what did I leave?
A 7 and a 1.
What else did I leave?
2.
Read it.
A 5 and
Plus 5. Perfect. If your parentheses are the same, you know you did it right. So we're going to write those down. And then what is outside of the parentheses?
The 3 and the 4.
So 3x and a plus 4. All right, any questions so far? All right, I don't care how you do that. I'm going to show you another way to do it. I'm going to go to a different question real fast. I'm going to go to number 5, and I'm going to show you the reverse box. You guys remember multiplying with the box, right? Now I'm going to start from the inside and work my way out, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so I'm actually going to number 5. And I'm going to make a 2x2 box because there's 4 terms. I'm going to put the first term in the first box, 3ab, 8a, negative 6b, and negative 16. Don't fill the box up. Don't fill the box up. Inside those boxes, I'm going to break those down, how we were doing the GCF just a second ago. Okay, so this one, nothing changes in it. You have a 3 and a and a b. In the 8a, 8 is 2 times 2 times 2 and an a. We have a negative 6. That's a negative 1 times 2 times 3. And I'm going to put a capital B so it doesn't look like a 6, a B. Negative 16 is negative 1. You said 16 was 2 times 8. 8 is 3 2s. All right. The reason I like the box on the ones with negatives is because it tells you where the negative should go, okay? So I'll show you exactly how this works. Look up and down right here. What's in common up and down? And I'm going to make this a capital B, sorry. What's in common up and down? A 3 and a B. Does everybody see that? I'm not going to circle them. That's going to go up here on top. Look up and down right here. What's in common?
3 2.
3 2s, which is 8. Across, what's in common across?
8.
Just an A. What's in common across here?
1 2. Wait. Yeah.
Negative
Well,
1 and
wait.
2, right?
Yeah.
Negative 1 and 2. So that's a negative 2. These two boxes will tell you what signs to use. Okay. If you pull out a negative, it'll stay negative. If we would have pulled out a positive, this one says it's negative. So this one's going to be positive. Right there are your 2 factors. Your 2 factors are going to be 3b plus 8 and a and a negative 2. I don't care which method you use. Okay. I like this one because it helps you with those positives and negatives. Okay. If it's all positive, I like the grouping, whatever. All right. So let's go back up to number 3 because those are really easy numbers to do. So I can show you how to do this box again. Okay. We're going to make a big box. Just go through your list. It doesn't matter if you go top to bottom or left to right. I always go across the top and across the bottom. It does not matter what order you put them in, okay? So 2xy is going to go here, a negative 2x, a negative 3y, and a positive 3. You guys see how both of these are negative?
Yeah.
Your factors up here should be negative. So your boxes tell you what signs you should use, okay? So in the first one, we can't break it down anymore, so we just have a 2, an x, and a y. How do we factor negative 2? What kind of 1?
Negative 1.
Negative 1, 2, and x. How do we factor negative 3y? Negative 1, 3, and y. And then this 3, you can just write 1 and 3, or you can just write the 3. It doesn't matter. I would suggest to write the 1 and the 3 so that you can see it. All right. Look up and down. What's in common up and down?
A Y.
That's it. So it just goes on the top. What's in common up and down here?
No, wait, one,
Okay, what happens when nothing is in common?
0.
Not zero,
I
but
mean, 1.
one. Remember, when we circle everything, it's a one as well. It's always going to be a one, whether it's nothing or all in common. It's going to be a one. What sign should that one be? What's this box say?
Negative.
A negative. Along the side, what's in common across?
2.
And
X.
okay. On the bottom, what's in common?
A 3.
A three. What's this box say it should be?
3, 1. Oh, wait, a negative here.
A negative. There's your two factors. On the top, you had y minus 1, and on the side, 2x minus 3. That's your answer. I haven't taught reverse thoughts in a long time. I don't know why.
Something to think. I mean, I know you're the only person I say do it, but
I just like it for the positive, negative.
yeah.
Makes it easy. All right, so 6 through 10 just has bigger numbers. I'm going to drop to number 7, actually. I'm going to drop to number 7, and then I'll come back to number 6. All right, so number 7. Going to make our big box. Again, it doesn't matter what order you put it in. I have 12x cubed, 12x squared, negative 42x, and negative 42. All right. Our factors of 12x cubed are 3 and 4. 4 breaks into 2 and 2, and 3 x's. The next one is the same exact thing, it just has 2 x's. So 3, 2, 2, and 2 x's. 42 is 6 times 7. So we have a negative 1, a 7, and 6 is 2 times 3. And we also have 1x. Negative 42 is the same thing, it just doesn't have an x. So negative 1 times 7 times 2 times 3. Top to bottom, what do we have in common?
3 and X.
What else? Look at it one more time.
2.
A 3, a 2, and an x, right?
Oh,
What's
yeah,
3 times 2?
6.
6 and an x. Let's go in on top. On your other one, what's in common on this one?
2.
2
And a 3.
and a 3. 2 times 3 is
6.
6. And this one should be positive. Okay. What about across?
3 and 2 2s and 2 X's.
Okay, so 3 and 2 2s is 12 and 2 x's. We're going to talk about this one in just a second. I'll show you. What do they have in common?
A 7 and a 2 and a 3.
So that is actually negative 42. What do y'all notice about these two? They're both 6s, right? Does everybody see that?
Why doesn't it have an X?
So remember what I told you in the very beginning? Yeah, they don't. They don't. What should we do at the very beginning?
GCF.
A GCF. So when you do this on your test or quiz or whatever you take today, and you do this perfectly and you know you got it right, but you don't see the answer, that's exactly why. We didn't take out the GCF first. Okay, so what's the GCF in this one?
6.
6. You can see they both have a 6, right? Can I divide 12 by 6? Yes. Can I divide 42 by 6? Yes. So watch this. You put the 6 outside. What is 6 divided by 6? 1. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So this is actually going to be 1x plus 1. What is 12 divided by 6? 2. And then 42 divided by 6 is 7. So this one would be 2x squared minus 7. This is the answer that you're going to see. So the reason I went ahead and did it the box first is so that you could see that GCF. You need to pull anything out that you can to begin with. Okay, anything that you see that's in common. So first, look at all the boxes. What do they all have in common?
Well, no.
All the
three.
boxes.
A three.
A 3 and
A two.
you guys see
And a
that?
7. Well, no, no.
That's your GCF right there. So then we just ignore those. And now you can see the 2 across the top, the 7 across the bottom, so on and so forth. Okay. So if you see the same thing in all 4 boxes, you want to pull it out completely and put it in the front. Okay. So let's try this again. Look at number 6. We're going to do your big box. We have 24x cubed negative 6x squared, negative 120x, and 30. Factors of 24 are 8 and 3. 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, and 3, and then 3 x's. Negative 6 is negative 1 times 2 times 3, and 2 x's. Negative 120 is negative 1. 120 is 12 times 10. 10 is 2 and 5. 12 from our other problem was 2, 2, and 3. And we have an x. And then 30 is 3 times 10, or 3, 2, and 5. So here's what you do in the box. Do you see anything in all 4?
A 3.
A 3 and what?
1x. Oh, no, and a 2.
And a 2. That is your GCF. What's 3 times 2?
2 times 6.
That's going to go in the front. So we just write it down. Now you just mark these out. We don't use these anymore. Look top to bottom. What's in common in these 2 boxes?
A 2 and a 5. Wait, a 2
What else?
and 1x.
And another 2. 2 times 2 is
4.
4, and you said 1x. Look in this box. What's in common? Nothing. So what do we write? A 1. What sign should it be? Negative, because it's a negative 6x squared. So that's your first factor with your 6. Go across. What's in common in these 2 boxes across?
2x.
2 x's, so x squared. What about on the bottom?
5.
5 and
2.
2. What's 5 times 2?
10.
What sign should it be?
Negative.
Negative. So your other factor is x squared minus 10. So again, look for something in common in all 4 before you start. If there's not, just move on. If there is, you want to multiply it and write it out. Okay. Again, 8, 9, and 10 just has larger numbers. I'm going to go to 10 because those numbers are a little bit easier. Okay. Let's jump to number 10. Going to make my box. (80m) negative 70m squared, negative 40n, and 35m. (80) is 8 times 10. 8 is 2, 2, 2. 10 is 2 and 5. An m and an n. Negative 70 is going to be a negative 1. 7 and 10 is 2 and 5 with 2 m's. Negative 40 is a negative 1. 4 is 2 and 2. 10 is 2 and 5 and an m. And then 35 is an easy one, 5 times 7 and an m. Is there anything in every single box? Look at it.
M,
Look at it.
a 5.
A 5. So what's your GCF? 5. So we're going to write that just up there to hold it. And then we don't look at those 5s anymore. Kevin, you good? It's okay. Top to bottom, what do we have? 3 2s, which is
4.
3 2s is 8.
Oh, yeah.
What else do we have?
The N.
An n. Perfect. What about top to bottom here? 7 and an m. What sign should it be?
Negative.
A negative because the box is negative. So your first set of parentheses is 8n minus 7m. Across, what's in common?
That would be
1, 2, and an m. Across this one? Nothing. So what do we put?
1.
A 1, and it should be negative. Very good. So your other factor is 2m minus 1. That's your answer.
If you were doing that like crazy, you had to type out your GCF first,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So you always type out the GCF.
You hope it wants to make it easier. So like,
That makes it easier to say what you're doing.
yeah, I like it this way.
I mean, I can look at it and tell, but I mean,
But I haven't taught it this way in so many years, and I don't know why, because I like this way better than anything else. Just keeps it clean. All right, here we go. Again, these are just bigger numbers. It's the same exact process. We got 2 more, and then I'll leave you alone, okay? 2 more. 105v cubed, negative 140v squared, 60v, and negative 80. All right, so remember, if you don't know your factors, we can put them in our calculator. I don't know my factors of 105, divide x. And all that does is break it down a little bit simpler. So 5 and 21, I know those factors. So it makes it a little bit easier for me. So 5 and 21, 21 is 3 and 7. And then we have 3 V's. Negative 140, we're going to have a negative 1. 140 is 14 and 10. 14 is 2 and 7. 10 is 2 and 5. And 2 V's. 60 is 6 and 10. 6 is 2 and 3. 10 is 2 and 5 and a V. And then negative 80 is negative 1. 8 is 3 2s. And 10 is 2 5s. I mean 2 and 5. Do you see anything in every box?
5.
There's nothing else in every box. That's as good as it gets. So our GCF is 5. And then we don't need it anymore. Top to bottom, what's in common?
3.
3 and a V. Perfect. Top to bottom on this one, what's in common?
2 V. Wait, no. Yep, just 2.
Just the 2
Negative 1.
and a negative 1. What else? One more thing. Another 2. 2 times 2 is 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. And if you miss the negative 1, this box would tell you that that factor was negative. So it's not a big deal. So your first factor is 3V minus 4. Across the side, what do we have in common? A 7 and how many V's? 2 V's. Across the bottom,
But wouldn't that be a negative thing?
Nope.
Oh, no. That'd be a 2, so it'll be 4.
2 2s is a 4, perfect. And that one's gonna be positive because the box is positive. So 7v squared plus 4 is your other factor. That's it. One more. These are probably the worst numbers. So I saved it to last. Is everybody good?
Yes.
All right. Okay. We have 196xz. We have negative 84xc, 112yz, and negative 48. Ken must be running out. YC. I don't know about factors of 196, so I'm going to check my calculator, try to find some that I know. Oh, this is a good one. 14 and 14 is a good one because I know those two factors. So 14 is 2 and 7, and there's 2 of them, and then an X and a Z. And I try to put the line through the Z so you know it's not a 2. Okay. All right. What about 84? Let's check it. 84, 7 and 12, I'm good at that one. Or 14 and 6 is good as well. If we do 14 and 6, 6 is 2 and 3, 14 is 2 and 7, but don't forget that negative 1. Again, if you do forget it, your box tells you that it's a negative, so it's not a big deal. $112, I don't know my factors of 112. 7 and 16, 8 and 14, we do know. 8 is 3 2s, 14 is 2 times 7. We have a Y and a Z. Negative 48 is going to have a negative 1. 48 is 6, so 2 times 3. And 8, 2 times 2, a Y and a C. Do you see anything in every box? Just one? 2 of them. Anything else? So we got 2 2s, which is 4s out of GCF. You could have letters as well, so watch that as well, okay? But right now we don't. We don't care about these 2s. They're gone now. We pulled them out. Look top to bottom. What do we have in common?
2, 7.
Just one. 1 7
Oh,
and
yeah,
a Z. Very good. How about this one, top to bottom?
A C.
A C, a 3, and a negative 1. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, and you said a C. So that's your first factor, 7Z minus 3C. Across, what do we have in common? A 7 and an X. And across the bottom?
Across the bottom will be a 2 and what's that? That'll be 2. No.
2 2s, you are right. 2 2s, which is 4.
That'll be in 1 Y.
And 1 Y. So that's going to be a positive. Your other is 7X plus 4Y. That's it. Any questions? All right. Everybody good?
Yeah, I'm just gonna
No, not really.
We'll get it. We'll get it. All right. I'm going to stop sharing, stop recording.
Y.